Thank you. Thank you very much. And welcome to Just Joking for Jaxon. Yay! Of course, a big welcome to Jaxon, our special guest over that far side table. And make sure you say hello to him at some time tonight. So we've got a big night ahead of you, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, or any other thing, please put that, just practice the clapping thing. Do it even bigger. Throw in a few chairs. And welcome to the stage, Mr. Shane Bourne.
Thank you so much, folks. Thank you very much, Andrew. Very good. And he's done, I'll tell you what he's done. A lot of people who introduce you come on, and it's down there. And you think, should I... Is Grant Denyer coming on, or do they want me to whistle through my whizzer? But I would if I could. Look, that as far as audience responses go for a big night like this for Jaxon, I think the technical term is that was shit us. So we'll do it again. Are you up for it? We'll do it again. Oh, I'll tell you what. Let's pretend we're American. That's it. Let's pretend we're in the USA. We're maybe at Oprah. Get the woo! Or a little bit of Ellen, get the Ellen thing going there, the woohoo! Over the coffee table. It's always a good one. Or even a bit of Jerry Springer in the old days, Woof, woof, woof. Whatever you like. But here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome your host for this evening? Fabulous performer. Probably one of the greatest performers in the country today, if not the world, bugger it, the universe. You remember him fondly from those halcyon days on Hey Hey at Saturday with the late, great Maury Fields, doing jokes. Yes, please. Thank you. Doing jokes like, some poor bugger who walked into a bar. Is this on? Could you turn it up louder? And of course, what did he do after that? Oh, he went on to surprise everybody by winning 2 AFI awards for Best Leading Actor in MDA, a series on the ABC. Then what did he do? Oh, he did Thank God You're Here. Then he did City Homicide, 4 or 5 years of that, playing Stanley Wolfe, and then he hosted the Logies too. In 2011, and he's recently had a penis extension. Would you welcome Shane Bourne? Thank you. I'd like to finish up now. It's not going to get better than that. We have big celebrities here for you tonight, as I'll show you in 1 minute. There we have it doesn't really work with this mark, but anyway, we'll give it a go. The winner of The Biggest Loser. It's better if it's kind of straight. Oh, I'll tell you what, who remembers Conviction Kitchen, speaking of reality TV shows? Remember that? My favourite show is a cooking show. It was what? No, it wasn't before the war. No, Conviction Kitchen was, it was a cooking show, but it was inside a inside a jail. They were trying to, teach the inmates through the culinary arts. I loved it because there was none of that rubbish, none of that one of you will be going home tonight. With Conviction Kitchen. I reckon they should bring back, they've got Family Feud now. I think they should bring back Perfect Match. Remember that with Dexter? Oh, they'll root like rattlers. Remember all that stuff? Gee, he was good. And I'd ask him, what are your hobbies? And it'd be stuff like, swimming, horse riding, and meeting people. All at the same time. I loved all that. Gee, it is great to be here for Jaxon. He loves a joke. He's got a few jokes. I'm in need of a few, as you can tell. So he'll be giving me a few gags a little bit later on. Great to be here. I did a function for the people from Telstra last week, and look, it was going well. It was like tonight. It was friendly. Then it was going well until I told what I thought was an inoffensive little throwaway gag. It was, what's the difference between Telstra and a pelican? Nothing, they can both stick their bills up their bums. And I got all snooty. You got to be careful. I was doing this year I hosted the Actor Awards, which is the AFI Awards. No one watches it. But it was the AFI. They call it the Actors. And I thought, I'll start off with a bit of a joke, just, break the ice. With all the stars there, Kate Blanchett, Jeffrey Rush, they're all there. So I hit him with this gag. Well, not really a gag. It was a line that went, great to see so many new faces in the audience tonight. Same old people, but many with new faces. That is a much better reaction. I'm telling you, I hardly got a peep. I don't think they could move their faces. They were doing all that. I've got a little bit of a headache. I'm sure it'll go away. They call it Dr. Footlights. We don't have footlights these days, but, just being here with you people and Jaxon and his family, it's not a big deal, but it was my fault this morning. I was doing that stupid thing you do. You know that thing where you test a battery with your tongue? Where did that start? It's ridiculous, isn't it? Well, anyway, you go to, hey, if it's still got a kick. Hey, I had my tongue right on it and the bonnet fell on my head. Very embarrassing. Especially when you get to my age, the 45, 46 mark. Oh, don't beat around the bush. Bullshit! Just making sure I got your attention. I'm not worried about getting older. What I'm worried about is the memory thing going. So I'm taking krill. Have you heard of that? Krill? So I take 2 a day. I think it's 2 a day, I can't remember. Do you know what krill is? I googled it. Whales eat krill. So you're going to end up sharp as a tack, but the size of a house. And you can't go swimming, you might beach yourself. Or get harpooned by the Japs. You've just... Love that. Harpooned by the Japs. But the memory thing, I tell you what they do say. If you do the crossword in the paper every day, it helps to stave off things like, dementia and all that kind of thing. If you do the one in the Herald Sun, it brings it on. Have you heard that story? Apparently there's 2 good things about having Alzheimer's. The first, you get to hide all your own Easter eggs. The second, you get to hide all your own Easter eggs. I think we're in the mood now. Now, let me remind you, the more you drink, the funnier we get. And the more you drink, the better it is for Jaxon. Because we want to send him. We want to send him on his merry way to Los Angeles, Disneyland, and even more importantly, to NYC, to Madison Square Garden, to see his beloved Knicks, the basketball team, which are doing quite well, I believe, in recent times. So, drink up, basically. I'm about to introduce the first act. Are we in the mood? I will take that as a yes. Would you welcome the other half of the comedy gallery, Dale Craig? Make him feel welcome, folks. Bring him on.
Hello. It's good to be here in Ballarat. Hello, Ballarat. Ballarat. I remember when I was a kid, I was doing spelling bees, and you'd have to spell Ballarat. And I go B-E, sit down please, Dale. It made it really hard. But when I was growing up, I mean, I'm about 28, 29, really, like the demographic here. Just too much home and away, that's right. Too much home and away has just affected me. But when I was growing up, Ballarat was spelt with 2 A's, eh? Was it 2 A's? Now it's bloody 1 A. Everything's simple. I get the B-A-L-L-A-R. Sit down, please, Dale. I have to bugger off. So I reckon that's what the war was about. You know, at the Eureka Stockade, it was those people that could spell Ballarat were taking on those people that couldn't. And you know who bloody wins. I used to bring the kids down here all the time. I love Ballarat. When I had my 3 little kids, we come down. Friggin' cold place in winter, you know? Cold, eh? Hey, cold, mate. Great. Oh, look, Ballarat's a great place anyway. It's real Australian, real Aussie here. I love it here. But I thought, you know, they discovered gold here. Surely they must have discovered the bloody hot water bottle. Or the onesie, at least. Central heating. They must have discovered that in Ballarat. Look, I'm a tradie. I'm a plasterer. Any tradies in the audience? No, just me. Shit. Fuck. We're all corporate at Ballarat, aren't we? I've seen people here with tattoos on their necks. You've got cleaners in the audience. Come on, don't give it to me. I'm a tradie, and I've walked in the mechanics hall, you know. I'm thinking to myself, mechanics hall? What the bloody hell do mechanics charge in Ballarat if they got their own hall? If I break down going back to Melbourne, I'm buggered. I'll be broke. That's for sure. I'm a plasterer, and I run a couple of plastering crews. And plasterers, we don't have a hall. We don't even have a trade half the time, really. But if you turned up, you know, the only uniform we have is if you've got a pair of tracky pants and thongs that roughly look like they fit, you can do the job. You're a master apprentice, you know. You're okay. But we're all here tonight for Jaxon, which is fantastic. I've got a son. He's 18, and I threw a birthday party for him, which is a lot of fun. I put on the DJ and the photo booths. I don't know. The kids nowadays into the photo booths, the photo shots, fantastic. Anyway, I'm from Sunshine, so I'm down in Mornington down that way. Anyway, about 10:30 got sick of that, so they all decided to light each other's farts. It's fantastic. In my lounge room they're doing this, and I'm thinking to myself, if a fire breaks out in the lounge room, is that arson? You know, are they going to cover that with the insurance? Is that arson or what? You know, I can imagine the guys turn up to put it out. Hey, mate, can you smell margarita? You smell margarita? We had that fire start that someone's the back of his pants. He's a great kid. Oh, the soccer's on. Anyone into the soccer, the World Cup? Yeah, well, that's good. I never, look, I'm 31, you know, like, but I'm always into the bloody footy and the cricket, and I used to watch tennis. You all watch tennis? Remember when we used to win? I don't watch tennis anymore. When we used to win. But I watched the soccer. What blew me with the soccer was that it's this big panorama of Brazil. So you look at all these Brazilians. He's watching the soccer, and I'm thinking to myself, I was shocked. I didn't think Brazilians had hair. I don't know about you, but that really blew me out. You know, Brazilians have got hair. I thought, shit, what's happening to me, you know? I'm actually come up from Mornington. You know, I got a flight up from Mornington. I've moved down to Mornington, and there's an old story going around that when people get old and they want to die, they go up to Queensland to die in the sun. That's bullshit, you know? If you can't afford it, you end up in Mornington. That's where I am right now, you know? It's like a wildebeest. They all mount, they all stop. I'm at Mornington, and I sit there and have a coffee, and I just watch life pass me by. I watch a Zimmer frame pass me by, an ambulance pass me by, another hearse pass me by. You can't have a drink there, leave a glass of water out, you'll come back and find a set of teeth floating in it. You've got to watch it. The reason I moved up to Mornington, my old man's in an old age home, 94, incredibly healthy, still goes to the toilet, very regular, goes to the toilet every morning at 8:30, gets out of bed at 9, but he's doing all right, Dad, thank you. He's got Alzheimer's too, Dad. You know, he's got Alzheimer's. He thinks I'm a plumber, which is all right. I only visit him on Sunday, so I'm charging him double time and a half, you know. Only time and a half, really, and parking. I'm doing all right there. He thinks my sister's a lawyer. She's absolutely killing. But the poor old bugger, he's got his head, you know, he's got his head down here on his neck, and he can't get his head up. So occasionally I slip him a little bit of Viagra just to get the head up, you know. You know? Get a rise at him, that's right. It's like the sun coming up. But if I give him too much, the head comes up, and I can't get it down. I start to panic, and I run around and go, Dad wants his eye drops. Dad wants his eye drops. Eye drops for Dad. And I was thinking to myself, shit, if that Viagra ever hits the stock market, I'm buying shares in that. They're only ever going to go up, aren't they, really? But anyone here had Viagra? No. We're real men. We're in Ballarat, Dale. Of course we don't. We have bull bars and all that sort of stuff. We don't do that. Actually, once I did because I was rolling out of bed all the time, so I thought I'd take some to sort of stay in. I've been divorced twice. I've been given the arse twice. Can you believe it, girls? A guy like me, divorced. Can you? Oh, yeah. Bloody realist here in Ballarat, aren't we? But anyway, how I ended up in Mornington, I got the bullet, but I had a mate, he said, listen, you got the bullet the second time. He said, I've got a little bungalow. He called it a bungalow out the back of his house in Sunshine. You've been to Sunshine, fantastic place. I thought he was a mate, right? I thought he was a mate. I tell you, when I moved into that place in Sunshine, so friendly. It is so friendly. You find people in your home you don't even know, you know. And I reckon I knew everyone in the street. I'd seen them all on Australia's Most Wanted. They were all bloody there, and they have different gardens in Sunshine. I don't know if in Sebastopol or places you might have them here. They don't have, you have the stock standard Australian garden, and you have the English garden. Well, they have the GMH garden, they have all these empty shelves stacked up out the front, and then they have the shopping trolley rammed into the wall, and Bob out the front had about 8 or 9 kids. He couldn't get a job, but he cleverly packed all the pizza containers and the milk bottles and all the newspapers and crap into these cars. Surely he'd get a job packing at Woolies. But he was on unemployment all his life. But the difference between Mornington too is you actually go out at Mornington and you come home. But in Sunshine it ain't like that. You go out, but you never know where you're going to end up. The Western General Emergency Section. God only knows what's happening there. But second time divorced, unbelievable. Some of my mates go, Dale, how the bloody hell can you do it twice? And, I thought to myself, well, I didn't know it at the time, but I'm into self-harming. I think you have to be to do that. I've been barracking for Melbourne for years, and you've got to be into self-harming to do that. Great VFL team, Melbourne. Still a great VFL team, aren't they? Oh, Jesus, all the other teams are kicking out footies at the end of the games and signing autographs. What are Melbourne doing? Handing out boxes of tissues and beyond blue brochures. I've been standing in the bloody suicide queue down at the Alfred many a time. But, no, after the second one, my mum rang up. She's up there now, though, in Queensland. It's as good as dead, isn't it, really? But she rang me and she said, listen, son. She said, son, this time I'm going to help you. And I thought, well, that's all right. I needed the money. Things are tight. She said, son, I'm going to pray for you. Shit. I thought to myself, Mum, I didn't have the heart to tell her. They don't take prayer down at Dan Murphy's, do they? I've tried. I've friggin' prayed. My best mate, Jeff, said to me, Dale, he said, I think you've got a weird, kinky sort of addiction. I said, what's that, Jeff? He said, I think you're addicted to building and renovating houses for other blokes to live in. Could have been right. My best mate, another guy said to me, Dale, he said, look, twice, do you think you'll go 3 times? I said, bloody oath I will. I'll go 3 times. I've still got a house, couple of stepkids, and a few pets still left in me. Sure I will. I'll go again. The last thing I will say on my last wife, she was fantastic. She was a goer in bed. I shouldn't say it. But I'd get into bed, then she'd go. But what are you doing? I remember one night I was sitting at home, because you're doing nothing. I'm sitting there doing nothing, staring at the wall. I thought, would I go to Bunnings or would I go to Sexyland? What'll I do, go to Bunnings or Sexyland? It was a weekend. I thought they're pretty much the same on the weekend for guys. We get our sausage out front. We fellas. They got all the tools there to get the job done. It's DIY or DIY. So I thought to myself, I'll go to I've never been to Sexyland, right? 4 years ago, I'll go to Sexyland. So the sad thing is I got a speeding ticket going out to Sexyland, right? I thought, I'm not going to go to the Sexyland near me because I don't want people thinking I'm a pervert or devious or there's something weird going to Sexyland. I don't want to do that. So I went to the Sexyland way across town. And when I get there, there's everyone I know anyway, all my deviant friends, And anyway, I walk in, and I don't know about you if you go to these places, because I've never had that. I'm a bit old. I didn't went to Sexyland. And I'm looking around. I start sussing people out. You know, I think, God, they're weird. I look at that old bloke near the video section. I start checking people out. But I'm perfectly okay, you know. I'm just curious, natural. But they could have problems. You know, I don't know. I remember I walked in first time. There was this woman there. She looked like a librarian. You know, looked like butter would not melt in her mouth. And I thought to myself, if I saw her at Woolies in the veggie section holding a cucumber, I'd think straight away it's going to go into a salad. But right now I'm not too sure, you know. I just don't know. Anyway, I do get there and I look over at the hot video section where you see the old blokes looking at the videos, and I see my butcher Nev. I've been buying meat off Nev for 15 years, right? Then and there I decide I'm going to be a vegetarian. I'm not buying any more meat off Nev. I don't know where his hands have been, do I? I don't. Driving all up and down the roads, too, you know, it's a bit tricky, but I didn't know this, but a couple of years ago they take portrait shots on Eastlink. I don't know if you've had any. I got one in the post, $220, fantastic shot. Mind you, it got more of the car than me, but shit, you know, I still framed it. Fantastic shot. I thought I needed one of the kids, you know. I needed one of the kids, so I got the 3 kids in the back. Bang, off we go. Get that in the post, $220, great value. You know. Mind you, it got more of the car than me, but you could tell we were all in the same family because our elbows all looked exactly the same. Not the eyes or the nose. Just before I go and we'll get Shane back, I just want to say that it is donation by inebriation today, so keep drinking. The more you drink, seriously, the funnier we get, the better we get. But as you look at me now, I just simply want to say, as I move around here tonight with the Comedy Gallery T-shirt on, at any time, 0.05 is confusing. Is it 1 drink in the first hour, 2 or 3? Does it come down to wine or beer or spirits? Who bloody knows? So a simple test tonight is, as I move around, if I start to look good at any time, ring a cab, call a taxi, don't drive home, don't risk it, okay? God bless you all and thank you for coming for Jaxon. Take care, we'll get Shane back. Mr. Shane Bourne. Thank you, Shane.
Nice work, my friend. Dale Craig, folks. Is terrific. Terrific. You know, I think he looks quite good and I haven't even had a drink. He's quite a handsome man, isn't he, for a plasterer? So we vibed up. I think we should keep the axe rolling, don't you? Well, just before I bring on the next guy, we've had a couple. Have we had a couple? We've had a couple of drinks. Might be time. Let's all take our clothes off and rub up against one another. No one knows we're here. Lock the doors. I don't get out much, so I try to kind of make the most of all the opportunities. Now, here's a guy. You'll recognise him for sure. You've probably seen him on, I was going to say Dr. Pat. You've probably seen him on Dr. Blake's Mysteries, which is shot here, of course. He's currently doing Neighbours. He was in Bikie Wars. He does the BFC ads. And he's gone mad in the ice bucket by the sound of it, but he's burrowing his way through. Would you welcome the fabulous Mr. Peter Flaherty? Let's hear it. There you go.
Thanks, mate.
Hey! How you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I fucking hate it when people ask me that. I mean, you know, I don't mind so much, except that they really don't mean it. Especially when a comedian asks. I mean, like we could give a shit about so many people at once. I mean, you know, what, you got a sore neck? Yeah, I'll come down, give you a massage. Share some of my Vicodin with you? No, fuck off. It's not going to happen, except, ladies and gents, tonight. Because I got a good feeling about you people. Everyone's here for a good reason. So tonight, I'm going to be Petey the caring comedian. All you got to do, you go up there to the bar, grab a Jack Daniels, come back and see me after my set, and you can sit down, you can tell me exactly how you're doing for that long. After that, you got to buy me another one. Nah, it's okay though. I don't drink like I used to. Oh shit, that's another one, isn't it? I don't drink like I used to. You hear that all the time. It's bullshit, eh? But you don't mind so much if it's from some gnarly old dude. But like the other day, this 18-year-old girl says, "I don't drink like I used to." From a fucking sippy cup. Oh, no, but the truth is, I am, it's sort of this tough, mean exterior. I'm still keeping it up, am I? I am a big softie. I'm a lover, a giver. I love to share, and seeing as I don't have a whole lot of money, I like to share information with you. I am a disseminator. And tonight, ladies and gents, I'm going to disseminate all over you. It's going to be on for young and old. And I like to think that, you say you learn from your mistakes. Well, I personally think you should learn from other people's mistakes, eh? And why not learn from mine? Because I make more than most people. I'm sure I've made more mistakes than most of you here. So if my idiocy and stupidity can help you not make those same mistakes, I'm happy to share. Right? Firstly, those toilets they have on display out the front of Home Timber and Hardware. Yeah, they're not plumbed in. There's another bloody shop I can't go back to, but so much for go where the tradies go, eh? Now, it may come as no surprise, but I love women. I cherish them, I respect them, I feel for them in the nicest way. And the truth is that, I've come to have a new regard for a specific group of women just recently. In fact, over the last 12 months or so. I'm talking about young women. Now, you're all beautiful and you're all young, but, I'm talking very young. Now, not Rolf Harris young, okay? It's too soon. Ah, fuck him. Which hopefully is what his cellmate's doing right now. Dirty old prick. Sorry, no. Sidetracked for a second then, no. I'm talking those 18 to 22-year-old girls. Lovely, beautiful women, but, geez, generally speaking, if they're going to have sex, it's with a bloke that's, say, under 25, maybe 30 tops, unless you're, Jeffrey Edelston. It's, and you wouldn't really call that sex, would you? Anyway, look, so I did just think of them as normal chicks, but, now I have an enormous respect because recently, last 12 months or so, we've been getting a whole lot of work done at my house. Whole lot of extensions, which means the house is full of tradies, and they're all young, hard-bodied gym junkies, good-looking boys. The eldest is 24, jutting jaw, muscles, lovely smiles. Thing is, they're all using our toilet, and ladies, if they can't hit a target that big, what possible hope have you got? Seriously. So I think the take-home message here is, if you're going to have sex, beautiful young women, and I highly recommend that you do, make sure it's with someone who's over 30. I got some support. Except for the hard-bodied tradies who are climbing out the back window. Now, I heard Shane was talking about Americans before. Have we got any Americans in tonight? Yeah. Wow, that almost sounded real. I love it. The thing is, you can say so, because I love Americans, and I have to ask at the start, because sometimes they sneak in with the humans, so I have to make sure that I've got to make sure we're all on the same page. But I fucking love Americans, because they are the only race on earth that makes us look hard-working. They have taken sloth to a new level. I love it, because you'll be talking to my American friends and they're telling me how lazy Mexicans are, while Jose, who's 70, is trimming their hedge. His 95-year-old mum, Maria, is scrubbing the toilet for $2.50. Yeah, but those Mexicans are all lazy. They have taken it to a new level, ladies and gents, and I'm sure you know what I'm about to say, because they have managed to even remove letters from words. You, the letter U. They don't need it. Fuck you. We don't need you. See what I did? But, you know, you look at the word colour, for example. Around the world, everyone else spells it C-O-L-O-U-R. No, not the Yanks. C-O-L-O-R. Genius. Imagine the time they've saved on a keyboard. C-O-L-O... Oh, fuck. Absolute... They've probably saved who knows how much ink and paper. But quite apart from that, it's genius, because could you imagine if there was an American in charge of advertising here in Australia? My God, it'd certainly make the Coles MasterCard ads a lot more interesting. You just imagine the guys there in the booth ready to record their ad. Okay. Coles MasterCard. There's no anal fee. No anal fee. Coles MasterCard. See, my challenge to you now. Next time you see that ad, try not to think what I just said. Oh, hey, just thought of something. You guys ready? Okay, everyone smile. Because, you know, this will go on Facebook. You ready? Oh, hang on, that's just curtain. We'll turn it around. Oh, yeah, nice photo of the sign. Anyway, I'm going to work out technology one day. Yeah, right. Look, I haven't got a whole lot of time, so I've given you some information. I'd like to leave you with one tiny little thing. And no, Shane, that tiny little thing is not my penis. That tiny little thing is coming back to the hotel with me, because I may have been married for nearly 10 years and have 2 kids. But as God is my witness, one day I'm going to use it again. When I'm not alone. No, ladies and gents, that tiny little thing is a speck of knowledge, just a little bit of something that you already know, but maybe you haven't thought of for a while, and that is, you're all going to die. Oh, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die, all of you are going to die. That's the way it is. But you know what? Until that day comes, ladies and gentlemen, please be good to each other, hey? I'm Petey, and you've been fucking awesome.
Pete Flaherty there. Keep an eye out for him. You've seen everything on the telly. Where do you think you're going, young lady? Yeah, it'd be a drink. Wouldn't be going to the loo. No, because girls always go in pairs. What are you doing there, ladies? What one of you got the instructions? Can you imagine guys doing that? Jono, I'm going to the dunny. Would you like to come? Actually, guys, I'll spill the beans. Secret men's business. When we're in there, especially if you're by yourself, you can have lots of fun just chasing those little lollies down the urinal. Getting a line up all nice and neat. Or, if you're by yourself, signing your name can be fun. I just feel sorry for guys with an I in their name. Now, Rob Cooper, Jaxon's dad, is going to say a few words to you. I thought this would probably be an appropriate time. So Rob is making his way up the stairs onto the stage, and I would like you to make him welcome as he comes towards the microphone. Good on you, pal.
All right, I just wanted to say thanks to everyone for coming. especially for Virginia for organising it. And for Andrew, he put in a lot of work too. All the comedians. You know, and there's a lot of familiar faces, so thanks for everyone who's been to everything. Teachers from the school. Friends from work. We've got people who's helped with his whole journey. And good news is, we fly out Tuesday. All right, I'll leave you all to it. I've had a long day. My turn to relax, so have a good night, and thank you once again.
Thanks, pal. Well said. Let's hear it for Rob. Isn't that great news? That is fabulous news. We're going to take a break, folks. Go and do what you got to do. We'll be back in a flash. Round of applause for the acts who've appeared so far. Dale Craig and Peter Flaherty. We'll be back. Okay, folks, we are back with a fabulous bracket of comedy coming up, so if you could return to your tables and your seats, that would be much appreciated, because you don't want to bring anyone on while everyone's kind of, wandering around and doing stuff. Gee, you're well behaved. That normally takes me about 10 minutes. That's fantastic. Good on you. We nice and relaxed now? I think we should. And are we enjoying ourselves? Yes. That's good. I'm really happy to be here in Ballarat. No, sorry, it happens sometimes. Oh, it does. I swear to you, you just go twang. But I won't tell you where I went because, R-rated. At any rate, let me tell you this, that I was on a flight the other day, going up to Sydney. This blew me away. I swear this is true. I'd never encountered it before. Happened to be up the front in business class. Someone else was paying. Wasn't it terrific? A lady, probably late 40s, I'd say, businesswoman in the black power suit at the laptop. Get this. She farted and tried to pass it off as a sneeze. She went, chew. I swear to you. And people were like, what? It was like, it wasn't the fact that, she broke wind. It was more, what's going through your mind to go, chew? Do you think anyone's going to be fooled? I mean, people sometimes go, home or something, or this rotten chair and the tray table, but chew. Anyway, the pilot was onto it because the masks all came down. Someone from the back yelled out, "Give the bitch a parachute," but we didn't. Gee, I don't know, have you ever hit clear air turbulence? Not speaking of that, but on a flight? It's the most scary thing in the world. You just drop. You don't it's not like a big bump. You just think, this is it. And we've hit clear air turbulence. Oh, everyone's going, we're all going to bloody well die. It's the first time I've ever read that safety card. You know that thing? Have a look at it next time. It's ridiculous. There's a guy demonstrating the brace position. If you have a seat in front of you, you fold your arms, put it on the seat in front of you and put your head on your arms. If there's no seat in front of you, as in, you're in an exit aisle or whatever, you put your head on your knees and kind of grab your legs. This guy has got his head so far through his knees. If I could do that, I wouldn't be flying anywhere. I'd be at home entertaining myself, I can tell you. Probably wouldn't be here. You'd have to get a forklift, get me out of the house. Hey, guess what we've got? We've got the other half of the comedy gallery. Come on, give it up big time for Mr. Andrew Brown. Come on.
Good evening and welcome. Hey. It's great being back in Ballarat. Actually, I'm from Ballarat originally, which is, thank you, I was one who escaped. But it's a bit weird for me tonight. I've got, this is my first gig in Ballarat, funny enough, and I've got people I went to high school with 100 years ago. They're all, so thank you for the guys for coming along. There's actually, in my younger days, I actually played football in the junior leagues out at Buninyong, and I've got someone I used to play football with here tonight too, which is, it was good to see him too. But, yeah, playing junior football, the only injury I was ever going to get out there was deep vein thrombosis from sitting on the bench, just watching the game play. No, not really, not really. I did get one kick though. I was in the head. Yeah, that was a long time ago. But yeah, the gentleman here who was on the footy team with me since then, he has gone on to bigger and better things. He was in Muriel's Wedding, he was in Chopper, he was in Bikey Wars, he's in numerous TV commercials. But he didn't get to do a gig at Just Joking for Jaxon, did he? Who's in front now, Sutherland? Yeah. No, but thank you for coming. Yeah, what can I tell you? Like I said, I grew up in Ballarat, although many would argue that point ever happened at all. I know my wife. Yes, thank you. You don't bring your mothers to these things. But anyway, I wish that was a rehearsed comeback line. That's true. Yeah, my wife would be the first to argue that it's happened at all. And my wife isn't here tonight, unfortunately. My wife many years ago used to come to every gig I did. Didn't matter where I was. She'd come along. Of course, that was BC, which is before children. Well, I mean, we got parents in the room. Got lots of parents in the room. Yeah, about 3. We got lots of parents in the room. Yeah. Don't kids fuck up your life? Seriously, they fuck it up properly. But I mean, it's not always their fault that they fuck up your life. I mean, for example, like I said, my wife always come to see the gigs, and the reason she's not here is because we made a pact when we first decided to have children that we wouldn't just leave our kids in the hands of strangers. Not just get the teenager down the road to babysit the kid. We'd leave it with family, because you know family, you trust family, which generally means grandparents, right? Got grandparents in the room. I know there's at least 10 grandparents in the room, so got some grandparents in the room. Excellent, thank you. Love the grandkids? Yeah, love looking after the grandkids? Taking care of the grandkids? Yes. What we have discovered since having children is that our children have shit grandparents. Well, I mean, they're even the sort of people who take this as a chance for conversation. No, one microphone. But I mean, all of them over the years have moved on, got themselves in new relationships, which means our kids theoretically have 8 shit grandparents. But I tell you, the most useful and the most reliable one, and I mean reliable in that she lives closest, is my mother-in-law. Lovely lady she is. God, I'm glad there's alcohol. But my mother-in-law, she remarried just a few years ago. She still works full-time, rides a push bike to and from work, rides a push bike 20 Ks on her days off. She got remarried a couple of years ago, spent the honeymoon in Hawaii. The year later, they were in Egypt. 2 out of the last 3 months, they were in Europe. Last year, they were in Vietnam. Basically, they've seen 3/4 of this fucking planet since we've had children. As far as babysitting goes, fucking useless. My mother lives over 3 hours drive away, which is almost far enough. Fucking useless. My father-in-law, not long ago, moved to Japan. He lived in Queensland at the time, then moved to Japan to teach Japanese children English. Just before he left, I said, who the fuck's going to teach you? Fucking useless. Actually, he's back now. He actually lives in Victoria now. He lives in a little town called Minyip. Everyone's heard of Minyip? Yeah, it's just this side of fucking nowhere. I worked out the other day that it actually takes longer to drive to see him in Minyip than it would have to drive to Tullamarine and fly to Japan. Fucking useless. And my old man, what can I tell you about my old man? Well, you could probably take it for granted that he is... Thank you very much. Beautiful harmonies, but yeah, fucking useless. My old man was an interesting character, though. I won't go on about him too much because, I'm still in therapy. But... Actually, I couldn't afford therapy, that's why I did stand-up comedy. But my old man, I remember we used to come visit a lot, and he was an ex-smoker. Ever seen an ex-smoker when they're sitting the other end of the couch, sitting down opposite for having a chat, just sitting there, because they don't smoke anymore. They just I'm just going to go outside. I'm going to go outside for a minute. I'll be back in a minute. Have you ever seen these ex-smokers when they go for their fresh air walks? You seen their fresh air walks? Looks a little bit like this. Amazing creatures. Very, very strange. But what else can I tell you? What have I been up to? Like I said, it's great getting back up here to Ballarat. Don't do it very often anymore. Like I said, family's still here. So, there's better things to do. No, wonderful people. Wonderful people. As I said, can't afford therapy. Anyway, but it's good getting back up here to Ballarat. The thing is, I can now. I have a reliable car. Haven't always had a reliable car. Used to have what's commonly known as a shit car. Any other shit car owners in the room? Got some shit car owners? Yeah, a few cheers there. What do we got? You're the first one to stick your hand up. What do we got down the front here? Sorry? Yeah, what's your shit car? We can relate. You know where I'm coming from then. I used to have a 1979 Toyota Rust Bucket. Every panel was dinted, scratched and or rusted. But a funny thing occurred to me one day. I was walking through a shopping centre car park, and every time someone walked up to their car, I could hear this blip, 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 blip. And I realised if I was to put a car alarm inside that car, I would have more than doubled the value of that car. And I fixed it there one day. I got rid of all the annoying rattles and creaks and squeaks and thumps and bumps and noisy motor all in about 2 seconds flat. You know how I did it? You just turn the radio up really loud. The Astra driver, that works a treat, doesn't it? You've done that. You turn the radio up. Perfect, yes. I tell you, the car could move though. You could go from 0 to 100 in a day and a half. It's like that joke there. Don't know. And with all that in mind, still some fucker stole it. A true story, yep. And pretty sad, got a phone call from the police 2 days later, they found it, and I got it back. But what's this tell you about a car? They found it at the second closest train station to where the car was stolen from. They took my car to get a lift to public transport. Melbourne train system, Frankston line. Fair dinkum. But anyway, yeah, then the really sad news came was when my little car got in close contact with a bigger car, which made it an even littler car. Made it time to get a new car. So as a stand-up comedian meant it was time to get my third part-time job so I could afford the repayments on my brand new fourth-hand car. And again, this is a true story. I actually became a part-time security guard in a shopping centre. Yeah, I can still do the walk. I just wonder when some of these guys get home if it looks a little bit like this. Oh, yeah. That's better. Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there trying to get that six-pack stomach. That holds a six-pack, no worries at all. Room for a couple more these days too. But it's funny when you watch guys with that walk, isn't it? It's the, there's so much sexier with the gut in and the chest out. It's like the male equivalent to the high heel shoes. Because they make women look so sexy. I think the turn-ons because you think they're pissed already. Maybe not. But I tell you, weird thing though, I was walking through the shopping centre one night. I won't do the walk again, we've seen that. But I was walking past one of these shops that sells blankets and pillows and doona covers and rugs and mats and cushions and fluffy, frilly, shitty things that some people like to collect for whatever reason they want. And they had this display in their front window this night of embroidered cushions. So yeah, everything was shut. It's a great time to catch up on some window shopping and, admiring some needlework. And looking at these, beautiful cushions. And one of them had sewn into it, "All things grow with love." Oh, come on everybody, all things grow with love. Oh, wow, that was beautiful. Thank you. And I stopped to think about that for a moment. I'm thinking, all things grow with love. Really got to stop telling my wife how much I love her ass. Keep telling her I love her tits though. Woke up there one night, she's got her head under the doona talking to my cock going, "But I said I love you, why? I said I love you." I'm not really sure what that was about though. But on a serious note, I know a lot of people laugh at hammerhead sharks because of that weird shape of their head. But personally speaking, I think it'd be quite handy being able to go window shopping down both sides of the street at the same time. Thank you very much. My name's Andrew Brown and you've been here. Good night.
Andrew Brown, folks. Let's hear it for him. He was terrific. Yeah, another round of applause as he makes his way to the luxurious dressing room backstage here at the Ballarat Mechanics Institute. What about a bit of culture? There you go, someone just dropped a contact lens. I was thinking maybe a little bit of poetry might be fitting at this time of night. Start off with a bit of Wordsworth. They cut off all his fingers in an accident. They rushed him to the hospital, the doctor said. "If you brought your fingers in, I could have sewn them on, you klutz." The guy said, "I would have, but I couldn't pick them up." Keats. A genie appeared and he said, "Old man, I'll grant you a wish, anything in the land. I wish my Willie could touch the ground," he leered. Abracadabra, his legs disappeared. Judith Wright. Grandma died and the neighbours flipped. So we scattered her remains on the nature strip. The thing that got them irritated was that she was not cremated. What, darling? Didn't offend you, the cremated grand? No. Legs and arms rolling along. Oh, what about this one? This is the last one before I bring on the next fabulous act. A little bit of culture for you. Doctor, yes, I'm feeling real sick. Hey there, doctor, gotta help me quick. I've had a cricket ball stuck up my bum since March. The doc said, how's that? He said, oh, don't you start. What's the O coming from here? How can you O? What, cricketist? Would you, here's a quick gag for you too. This is for Jaxon, because, he's given me a couple of gags tonight. I've got one for him. It's about the kid come home from school, and he said to his mum, guess what, Mum? I've got the biggest whizzer in 5th grade. She said, I'm not surprised. She'll be 21 in November. Would you welcome the fabulous talents of a man who's appeared at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival on a number of occasions. Next year, keep an eye out for his new show, Fart Lab. Yes, Fart Lab. Would you welcome Frank Hampster?
Hey! Great to be here. We'll put Mr. Skinny over here for a bit. This is like a fucking Hey It's Saturday reunion on a Friday night. Isn't it great? Is Jaxon still here? Good, I can say fuck. I grew up in Wendouree. Yeah, fucking Wendouree. So I learned how to swear from a young age. What happened to Kev's car park down in Curtis Street? Who remembers that? The car park where they had the hamburger van. Yeah, and you could drop a burn out there and sell your car, right? Fucking awesome. I used to love going down there on a Friday night, but I noticed that the people were so into their cars down there that even the way they spoke to each other had gear changes. Yeah? G'day, mate, that's not a bad look at me now. You got there? Oh, what, you driving up from Delacombe this afternoon to drop a burn out trying to sell the fucking oh, what sort of fucking colour you call that? Is it canary yellow or is it wattle? Nah, mate, it's not fucking canary yellow, it's wattle, that's not a Holden colour. Yeah, I drove it up from Delacombe, but I'm not going to drop a burnet to try and sell it. Yeah, but I'll probably drop a burnet anyway because I want some random Sheila to flash me her tits. Yeah, you've been there. Kev's car park, what a beauty. So this is the primary school table over here. Yeah, teachers, yeah. Well done, round of applause for the teachers. These are the ones that are going to babysit your shit kids for 8 hours a day. And yeah, the kids nowadays are pretty shit, aren't they? Oh, they're awesome. So you love the fact that they've got iPhones and screens and fucking toys and all that? You do, yeah? What toys did you have when you grew up? You had none, that's right. That's right. I grew up in Wendouree, as I said, on the wrong side of Norman Street, so it was like fucking semi-rural, right? Yeah? All I had to play with was a rock, a kangaroo, and a bread bag. And you try to put the bread bag over the kangaroo's head and then piff the rock at it. Fuck yeah! Like sometimes, you hit and miss. So who's drinking beer tonight? Oh, yeah, fucking yeah. Of course you are. Because beer is the only beverage in this entire nation that you can circumvent the responsible service of alcohol laws. You know, the ones that say if you're obviously intoxicated, we can't serve you. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much beer you drink, you're still going to get served, right? Beer. And then all you have to do is put money on the bar and point to fucking what you want. Yeah. It works every time. When Dale was up here, he was talking about the suburb in Melbourne of Sunshine, the one that you got to pass through when you go down to fucking Southern Cross Station.
Beautiful suburb, don't get me wrong, beautiful suburb. But the people of Sunshine, they love living there. And the reason they love living there, it's the only place in Victoria that you can stand, face Ballarat and go, fuck, I wish I lived there. Yeah, look, I know it's cold, but I hear you've got better ice. I saw Four Corners. Oh, so yeah, is there still rivalry between Ballarat and Bendigo? Yeah? I see, yeah, fuck Bendigo, right? Yeah, I'm from Ballarat, I know what's going on. They're building this mosque there, yeah, and everyone's, oh, fucking let's ban it. The people at Ballarat can show Bendigo what it's all about. We should build a mosque right here in the centre of town. Then on the day it opens, we'll burn the fucker down and say, see, Bendigo, you see what happens? Yeah, we showed you. Yeah, cost us $3 million, but we don't care. And it'll give Roland Roccacelli something to write about anyway in the Miner. Fucking hell. What sort of a bloody newspaper is that, the Miner? I know why they give it away for free. Fucking... Jeez. But anyway, I did do a good write-up for tonight, so I shouldn't say too much about it, otherwise we won't get an audience for next time. But yeah, growing up in Ballarat was weird. I'll tell you why. One of my best friends was a guy, I won't mention his name, Ralph Griffiths. His father was the chief emergency room doctor at the old Ballarat Base Hospital. He lived in Sturt Street, nice house, and he's mates with all these other doctors. Now, doctors, they can be pretty weird. They talk about weird shit at dinner parties. And me and Ralph, on a Saturday night when his parents are having a dinner party, would lie on the landing of the stairs and have a couple of sneaky beers and listen to the stories. And one night they had a guy from the Alfred Hospital, and he told this filthy story. He said, one night this guy comes in, he's wearing a dressing gown. He refused to see any of the nurses. There was a bulge in his dressing gown and he had blood trickling down his legs. When I opened it, there's a dead cat on his penis. He tried to have sex with the cat clawed his legs, he broke its neck, its ass constricted, we had to surgically remove the cat from his dick. What the fuck? I'm 15 listening to this, right? The next doctor, he's from the old Prince Henry's in Melbourne, right? He goes, oh, go you one better. I was at work on Saturday night and two people came in, a gentleman in a dinner suit, black tie, woman in evening wear. The woman had a towel wrapped around her head, covered in blood. The man had a tablecloth wrapped around his waist, covered in blood. Apparently, she had given him some under-the-table pleasure during dinner, and that's when she had a grand mal seizure. And that's when he reached for the fork. And then Dr. Griffiths goes, that's nothing. At the base hospital on Saturday afternoon, this bloody kid comes in, little fat 13-year-old kid, claw marks on his face with a dead kangaroo with a bread bag on its head. What the fuck is that all about? Wasn't me. Wasn't me at all. Look, I'll leave you with this, ladies and gentlemen, because we do want to get your headline act on, because you're all here to see Elliot Goblet, not me. Put Mr. Skinny back. But I'll leave you with this. I used to be in the army. I'm a bit of a hippie soldier. I'm not very religious, though. Okay? And I was at a dinner party recently. Someone said, can you say grace for us, Frank? I decided to say grace. I said my version of grace. I said, thank you, Mother Earth, who through 4.5 billion years of evolution have allowed us, mankind, through 3.4 million years of natural selection to evolve to the point that we can subjugate the flora and fauna of this planet, turn it into shelter, food and tables, where we can sit and eat and enjoy ourselves. And I don't know what any of this has got to do with a guy called Jesus who worked at Joseph's Joinery in Nazareth, and from what I understand didn't make very good fucking tables anyway because he spent his whole time hanging out with drunk fishermen and prostitutes. I've been Frank Hampster, you've been awesome audience. Thanks for coming out to help Jaxon.